Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Coffee Conversation Show powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and our technology partner Prime Infotech Solution. I am Jolly Singh, co-host at Coffee and associate with Prime Infotech Solution. And it's the Emerging Professional series where we dive into the careers and lives of rising stars in the various fields and today's theme is balancing strategy and consulting data science and beyond. We are thrilled to have with us today Shubham Paul, a senior decision science consultant at Accenture Strategy and Consulting, joining us. With a robust background in data science, project management, and business strategy, Shubham brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table. An MBA graduate from IIT Kharagpur and a certificate holder from Harvard Business School online, he has worked on numerous impactful projects and authored research on speech compression. Join us as we explore Shubham's professional journey, the challenges he has faced, and the personal interests that fuel his passion for continuous learning and innovation. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Hi, Jolly, and thank you so much for the lovely introduction and for inviting me on the show. It's a real honor to be here.
It's our absolute pleasure, sir. We are very much thrilled and very much looking forward to the entire conversation that we have planned for you today. And before diving directly into the conversation, let me just brief you about how the flow of the entire conversation would be. So, we have three rounds in total. The first round is the professional questions round, the second round is the personal questions round, and we end the entire conversation with a very fun rapid fire round where we if you answer really well, if you are very wittiful and like you are surprising to us, we also have a very a small surprise, not a very big one but a very small surprise for you if you
Mhm.
perform really well. So embrace yourself and let's get started with the very first round if you are ready.
Absolutely.
Okay, sir. So the first round is the professional questions round. And my very first question to start with is what inspired you to pursue a career in data science and consulting?
Well, to be very honest, it was an unplanned move. Let's just say that the right pieces were falling into place at the right time. So I've always been a very fond admirer of technology. And that's the reason why I pursued an engineering in computer science in the first place. And once I started working after my engineering, I was pretty much thrilled with the prospect that what all can be achieved using the skills that I've acquired over, let's say, the last 6, 7 years by then. But having said that, I was always curious about what are the other ways in which I can contribute to the broader industry that depends on technology.
Right.
And that's the reason why I wanted to inculcate more skills, more functional skills, more management skills, and went forward to do my higher studies. And from there, there was a huge spectrum of opportunities that I could have grasped. But unfortunately, there's one job for every person at a time,
Right.
and I guess the analytics role that was offered at that time was very interesting. There was a very good internship opportunity, and I took hold of it. And yeah, that experience of 2 months that really changed my mindset at all, and that totally gave me the confidence that yes, I can leverage my background, I can leverage my current learnings, and probably this is what's going to make the next big move in my life. And what I also feel is in all of our lives going together, even if somebody's just a user of analytics, or somebody is a worker in it, or if there's somebody who has absolutely nothing to do with it. But I think every small and big elements of our day-to-day lives are being changed and transformed for good with the help of data. And yeah, I think that would be my biggest inspiration.
Okay. So a greater understanding of the subject that you dealt in your engineering college motivated you to go for the higher studies, or is there something else also? Because after graduation in engineering, particularly, there are a lot of placement options, and people like proceed for grabbing those options
Hmm.
really quick, because getting salary in your hand very much early in your age, when you are very much early, very much young, it's a very uh, interesting thing, and it grasps people attention. So what
Right.
motivated you exactly to leave all of that and pursue higher studies and see explore other options?
Right. You're really correct in that fact. And to be honest, those 2 years that I had worked for just after completing my engineering, I think those are two of the best years of my life so far, which are never going to come back. But I always like to cherish those memories because it's the first job, new city, new set of
Right,
friends, new colleagues, completely new life. But that is, but I didn't really have anything per se from my job life to, motivate me to leave it. I had already planned in my head that I need to do an MBA when I was in my first semester of my engineering itself. And that was sort of like my roadmap right from the beginning. Because I know it might sound a little fake sometimes that nobody really makes these plans that early. But I was not always totally keen on doing a purely technical job throughout my life. I wanted a good mix, like everything
right,
else. I needed a good balance. So obviously, engineering was the default option for me at the time go. But then it's important to get a bit of a job experience before you can do something like a management degree,
right.
because you
Absolutely.
need to totally understand the professional setup. You need to see how your seniors are dealing around you, how your juniors are going about their business, and it's absolutely a bonus if you have a bit of a job experience with you. And of course, I had started preparing for exams like CAT and all that, but then my plan was set pretty much ahead in time. So I didn't really need to look for something to motivate me to leave. I mean, given a choice, I would have loved to continue that job. And I still, I'm in good contact with all my colleagues from my first job. We are still very good friends. But yeah, I think it was pretty much in the head that I needed, both sides of the coin.
Right. If like we are talking about the data science, what are the primary responsibilities of a data science consultant of today?
Right. You see, as soon as we hear the word consultant, it obviously gives you an impression that somebody is coming to you for advice, right?
Right,
Be it in any profession, consultant is a very umbrella term, and then there are specialities associated with it. So similarly, even in data science, we come across numerous problems from our stakeholders who are facing business issues, and they also have a lot of data at their disposal, but they don't know really how to leverage that data to solve their problems. So in a day-to-day life for us, it's always a mixed bag. There are days when you need to read between the lines and understand the problem correctly. There are days when you really need to understand what is the status quo of that client and see how they are, how have they been managing their business and what problems are they currently facing. There are days when you are constantly investigating the kind of data that they have at their disposal, because the entire work revolves around that. And then there are days when you try and build certain things or try and find certain answers from the data. A lot of times we need to find the right questions first before you can go up to going to the solutions directly. So yeah, these are most of the things that we go through. And then to assist us in each of these things, there are different tools and technologies that keep on coming and going. Some stay with us and some just get upgraded. So yeah, using those tools, leveraging those different skill sets, upskilling ourselves all the time, and having a brilliant teamwork amongst the different sets of different groups of people that we work with. I think those are the major chunks of things that we do. But yeah, having said all of this, I think the most important thing that we do day in day out is to communicate each and everything very well. I think that's at the crux of matters. You have to have to observe each and every minute detail, and also you need to lend out the information that you need to in the right manner. So yeah, those are most of the things that really keep on
right,
going.
sir. So what are the major challenges in the modern analytics industry, and how do professionals tackle them effectively? Also, like, if I may add to the question, how has your MBA from IIT Kharagpur helped you in the career of teaching in the position that you are in your professional career today?
Oh, yes, it has worked really well. But yeah, coming to your first question, I think we did have a bit of some bites of it in the previous question itself.
Right.
I think it's not just about today or yesterday or tomorrow. Every analytics problem will always have one important facet, and that is you need to look for the right questions first. A lot of times, you have to understand that the people for whom you are doing the work, they are not data professionals at the end of the day. They are conducting their business with a certain set of things in their agenda day in and day out. So so what usually happens when you visit a doctor, for example, you are facing some problems in your
Yeah.
in your body, and then the doctor will ask for symptoms. The doctor will ask you for certain events that have happened recently, and then the doctor will try and do a diagnosis that, okay, this is what I've collected, and I
Right.
think these are the things. I mean, we end up saying that we have this problem, but that's not the end. Any
Right.
consultant will need to read between the lines and see what's happening. So yeah, the most complex and at the same time the simplest of problems that happens in this industry is to understand the problem very, very well. And a lot of times maybe the right amount of time is not invested in understanding the problem or in trying to brainstorm through the different ideas that can happen. So yeah, the initial part is the most complex. And I think in today's world, a very a very frequently occurring problem that you can observe across companies and across multiple projects is the choice of the right tool, the choice of the right technology that you need to make. There are so many options out there, but let me assure you, not every data science problem needs a machine learning algorithm. Some things can be solved using simple Excel sheets as well. Some
Right.
problems will definitely need machine learning algorithms, but then you keep on getting stuck with, okay, I think I need the help of GPT over here. So I think we are all spoiled for choice in today's generation, thanks to all the different options that's there. So
Right.
what becomes very important for the leadership is to understand which thing will fit best in the situation that you're currently handling. So I think education about the most updated things, as well as knowing the basic concepts right, will solve the problem here. So that is something that's very exciting at the same time. But yeah, we'll try and keep on dealing with it day in, day out.
And that is exactly my next question was that how important is it like to identify the right question and read between the lines? Because when we are like talking about datas, when you are talking about datas, we all can understand, even if we are not very much experts in data science and everything, that we are talking about a huge amount of data
Mm-hmm.
that like needs a lot of skills to analyze and understand. So how
That's
important
right.
yeah, so how wrong it may go if you do not read the line between the lines very correctly, and you go wrong at any point of time, and how important it is to be very much expert and skilled in whatever job you're doing, and not mistake, because your slightest mistake can uh, lead to loss of trust to your client.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there is no limit to how much wrong it could go, to be honest.
Yeah.
In most cases, you can see that months and months of hard work can go down the drain because of one or two simple pointers that were missed during the requirements gathering stage. And that was only because, reading between the lines didn't happen. Maybe, good enough amount of workshops were not conducted. And, the people who are invested in the project have been working a lot to solve the problem or to build certain solutions. But let's say 5 or 6 months down the line, you get to know that, okay, there was this particular thing that we didn't know about. And now we need to make the immediate change. And our release is in, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks from now. And then everybody has to go either work overtime or then push the deadlines, and all sorts of nightmares when it comes to project management will come into the picture. So so those are the things. And I think I might add here that learning management during my MBA has broadened the perspective of understanding a problem first. In MBA, we do lots and lots of case studies because that's not something that you usually do a lot in your bachelor's. Because let's face it, we were kids at that time.
Right.
But as you are into the MBA, you have to keep on taking each and every problem as a case. It's no longer a homework that you do in your school days. It's not a question that you get in your question paper and you need to answer, or it's not a fill in the blanks or anything like that. It's a it's an out and out case that you need to understand. You need to solve it. I mean, we have been growing up watching crime thrillers and police cases here and there. It's nothing short of that. You have to understand each and everything. Not every bite of information will be provided to you. You'll have to do your research. I mean, it's better to invest 80% of your time into understanding the problem, gathering as much information as possible, and then spend the rest 20% into implementing it or solving it. I mean, there's absolutely no harm. There is no need to rush into trying to show that, okay, I'm doing this, I'm getting some results. You should never rush towards it. So that is the most important part.
How exactly Harvard Business School online happened, and what insights have you gained from your certificate in business strategy from Harvard's Business School online?
Right. So, strategy is a topic that I was very fond of during my MBA days. And it was somewhere of a feeling from the inside that every management job would require it at some point of time. But knowing that the profile is not exactly going to be a strategy professional and it's going to be more into data science, I believe that it's a very important thing to upgrade to. And that's the reason why I was looking for lots of courses which could be done. And this actually checked out each and everything. I mean, the educators are from Harvard itself, and I mean, the learnings that they have given, it could be applied to the smallest of projects. It could be applied to the smallest of tasks in a project, as well as to even running a company for that matter. So the concepts are really good out there. It's not something. It's not rocket science, to be honest. But the very fact that you need to improve the satisfaction of the customers who are working with you, or the stakeholders at least, who are dependent on your work, as well as the satisfaction and trust of the people who are working with you to accomplish that task. I mean, you have to adjust both sides of the scale, and it's all about value at the end of the day. The more value you create for your stakeholders, the more results you can definitely accomplish. So yes, it has already started working wonders on my work, and I'm hopeful that I can implement more of those in the days to come.
Definitely, sir. So, how do you integrate your project management skills from the Google Project Management certificate into your data science projects?
Oh yes, the project management certificate was I mean, that was a decision that I took somewhere, I think, during my third year of working post my MBA, that eventually in a service-based industry where projects are the goal for all the people who are working, be it any designation, uh, you need to know the basics of managing those things. And I believed that uh, getting to know all those things while working, while going through all those tasks day in day out, I don't think that's the most optimal way of looking at it. A bit of knowledge, bit of gaining that knowledge beforehand would do no harm. And there are many other project certification certificates, by the way, which are required, or which are recommended for working project managers with, let's say, 5 plus or 10 years plus of experience. But this is one of those certificates that doesn't really require a lot of relevant work ex, in the sense that uh, even for a project that is supposed to happen only for a week, there is a systematic way of doing it. There's a way of planning it, there's a way of designing your solution, there's a way of executing it, and then also there is a way of having a retrospective of what you did, right, about the learnings that you could take. And then obviously there is a way of dividing your project into multiple chunks, which is a very important part in agile project management. And agile is the way every almost every project based industry is going forward with. So yeah, it was very very important for me to know that, because ever since then I have changed my approach towards work. I have started documenting more. I've started to maintain things, I've started organizing my stuff better. I mean, it's not just about all the magnitude of work that you do. It's about the quality of work as well. And if you're more organized, if you're more disciplined, just like you manage, your own house, things have to be in their place. They have to be segregated in the right manner, and and also you have to make sure that the most important things are the most reachable ones. So I think if the same tactic can be applied by, I mean, anyone in the project, then that actually helps in better time management, and also in identifying the right people to do the right things. So and that obviously comes from understanding them better, by spending more time with them to understand their strengths and areas of improvement. So yes, those are definitely the virtues of that exercise, and I'm really glad I did it. And I do recommend it to anyone who has some bit of a doubt that, okay, I need to learn more about project management, but I'm not sure if I should wait till I become a project manager. This is one course that you can definitely do, and believe me, it's going to help no matter what work you do in your life.
Yeah, like it's going to expand your prospects and horizons.
Definitely.
Yeah. Uh, you being in such a dynamic profession, how do you stay updated with the latest advancements in AI and data analytics?
Well, the channels are dynamic as well. I mean, I don't
Right.
stick to just one or two things all over the time. I mean, to know about how the world is doing in general, you have newspapers, but in order to learn about data science and AI and the most recent developments, it's wrong to just stick to one or two things, right? So
Right.
there are so many things that can happen. There are multiple blogs that keep coming out of useful websites, such as towards data science and all those things. Then there are different webinars that keep on happening, different announcements that keep happening from the top companies. uh, you know Knowledge sharing sessions amongst your peers is also an excellent way of doing things. And there's one thing that I've recently started doing is, after finishing off a good chunk of my work, let's say after finishing off an assignment which has taken some days or something, because there is Gen AI itself, you can try and learn how could you have done this work better. How could you have uh, implemented more recent tools and technologies to probably reduce your own effort, to probably improve the quality of the work that you did. So how do you improve these things? And by trying to understand those subtle bits of knowledge, you automatically get to know what are the most recent things that have come into the market, which one of those are free, which ones of those need a subscription, which ones of those really need a corporate approval for that, and you know all those things are there. So it's good to expand the horizon a bit, and try and gather knowledge from as many places as you can. And I believe there's another important thing is through networking. You really need to identify those people who are really having a very tight grasp on certain topics and certain tools and this and that. And if you are constantly in touch with them, trying to discuss that, okay, hey, I recently did this, how do you think you could have done that? That's not just limited to your colleagues. It could be your friends, it could be your relatives. So it's very important to stay connected that way, and more often than not, you can end up getting a lot of knowledge from your own peers.
Definitely. And for the last question of the round, sir, if you could talk about your research on speech compression and its significance in your field.
All right. Well, I don't think it sounds very relevant, to be honest,
Okay.
that how speech compression could help, but there is a plus side to that. That was actually my engineering project in my final year. It was so my mentor had given me a choice that I wanted to do something with data compression, but I'm not sure if you have ever tried to do any work on speech. Then I asked him that sir, if you have any past documents or something, I could really use that as a reference. That he said that I have been looking for someone who can work on this, so even this is the first time for me. So it
Yeah,
was
okay.
a real experiment that we did at that time. And I, being a very big fan of music, in those days I used to compose stuff and all that, and
Okay.
used to use tools, sound mixing tools and all that. And because of that I had gathered a bit of knowledge about audio signals, and how much redundancy is present in the data, and how much reduction could be done. So in a raw audio file there is a lot of extra information that's there, and all these different formats that you see everywhere, maybe this mp3 and this and that, all of those are basically compressed formats.
Okay.
So we try and make an experiment of how can you leverage the existing ones, how can you develop an algorithm which can improve the performance, if not the performance, at least improve the quality of the results. And eventually my mentor really liked what we did, and we ended up publishing it with Springer. And yeah, what I gained from that work is to actually keep trying till you are not getting something out of your work. I mean, no piece of work is going to be a waste at the end of the day if you really go into the depths. I mean, I might not have learned so much in the 4 years of engineering what I did in those 2 months of doing that project. And that happens every time. I mean, you end up doing something so big as per your own standards, and then you feel that, oh my god, I had absolutely no idea I could do this. So
Right.
that confidence boost actually came up. And yeah, sometimes I do get some opportunities where I can apply the learnings from that project as well. I mean, we constantly work with data formats. We constantly work with redundancies. I do go back to those days and try and see if I could implement some of those.
Right. So that is it for the professional questions round, sir. We are towards our next round, which is the personal questions round. Getting to know you much better, like professional aspect is, and now is it's the personal aspect. And the very first question that I would like to ask you is about your formative years, right from the
Mhm.
school to your engineering college, and then to you getting your first job. How it has been, how the journey has been, how has been the experience.
I wish I could sum it up in just a word or a line. I mean, I know
It's
I'm
difficult.
still
Yeah,
yeah, I still believe I'm a youngster. A huge part of my life is still left, hopefully.
right.
But then whatever I've seen since my childhood has taught me valuable things that keep on coming back to me in some way or the other. I mean, I did my schooling, and in fact, I did all of my schooling till my secondary exams in Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
That's where my dad had his job. And eventually, since he had a transferable job, we had to switch places, and then eventually, we had to come back to his own hometown, that is Kolkata. And I've done my ever since my standard 11 and 12, and my higher secondary exams and my engineering over there. And then my school life definitely has been very productive. And uh, I was a bit good in studies, I might add. I mean, I don't like boasting about it, no matter how much my parents used to, they still like talking about it. But I think the discipline that my parents imbibed in me in those formative years has really helped me in securing my position a lot in the days to come, because life was not easy after the 10th standard. It was really difficult. And considering the line of academics that I was targeting, it's all the more difficult in a country like India, where there is so much competition about desirable positions. So it was very difficult, but I believe my formative years have given me the strength to not panic whenever things are not going your way, to just calm down and see what are the ways in which you can somehow muster the courage to again pick up the pieces and then resume your journey. So Yeah, though I really miss my school days. Those had really been, they have a huge role to play in whatever I have achieved so far. And then my engineering, as it is, I mean, what can I say? That really
Engineering
transforms.
colleges are quite interesting, I have heard. So,
They I think are the most efficient machines to transform teens into adults.
right,
If I had to put it in a single line, no matter your stream, no matter your campus size, no matter your city or country or anywhere, the very aspect of continuously being under the grind, but at the same time never missing out on the fun, or exploring new avenues in your mind that you never knew existed. Those
right.
you try and make innovating stuff, you're trying romanticizing a lot of things in your life. Some
Mm,
people turn into photographers, some people turn into poets, and you end up making friends for the rest of your lives. And at the end you learn how to actually fight it out in the real world. That's what it teaches you, and there has been no looking back after that.
yeah. Um, how how are you balancing your demanding job with your personal life and hobbies? And yeah, like, are you still continuing your music composition thing that you were just mentioning about?
Oh, I wish. I really wish. But I have it in my wish list to somehow resume it sometime,
Okay,
considering that, life hits back at you really hard. And then you suddenly realize that, okay, you need to go one step at a time. So,
right.
yeah, it is there in my wish list to resume a part of it. But yeah, right now I have a very limited set of things that I do outside my work. And the only way I try to strike a balance is to always remember that there is a life outside work. There is no other way of doing it. In fact, I know this, at least for me, it's very important, because once I give my heart and soul into my work, then I become completely obsessed with it, and then my personal life goes for a toss. So it's always important to remember that there's a life beyond it. There are people who need you, there are people whom you need as well, and you have to somehow take out time to balance it out. Some days, yes, you might go off your schedule, but you need to have a specific set of things that you do. Let's say when you're taking breaks, when you have done your work, what do you do on weekends, what do you do on holidays.
Right.
And I think all of those things can account for maintaining a good work life balance. No company is going to offer that to you on a silver plate. It's you yourself who have to,
Figure it out.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Are there any particular, are you into books and movies? First question, and then I would be adding on to it.
I do like reading, but of late, and by of late, I mean ever since COVID happened, I have lost my faith on books, to be honest, because of
Why? Why
the
so?
because of the different things that see at that time you really need to keep yourself mentally and physically engaged in a lot
Right.
of activities. And I believe reading books was definitely a part of my day-to-day life before that. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would really like to add that item on my wish list again, that I need to resume reading as well. But I used to read before that, and movies just come and go. I don't really, I'm not really addicted to these mediums of entertainment or information. But as and when it comes and goes, I really like watching movies or series or even reading books whenever it happens. I think right now I have restricted myself to reading small articles, in fact. But yeah, it's been quite some time I've read a book. I
Okay.
should really go up.
Yeah. Uh, they are like a good add-ons to your daily routine. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
so if not, like, you're not very much into movies and like reading books and everything. So how exactly do you unwind at weekends, and like any hobbies that you carry just to like relax yourself on
Yeah.
days where you don't feel like working? How I like,
Um, See, on the days when I don't feel like working, I don't think
are
I
there
don't
any
think
days?
I mean, if there are days when I don't feel like working, those are the times when you can plan some leaves or you can plan some vacations out there,
Right.
and then you can do the things that you think are doing good for you. And I'm a very outdoors kind of a person, for that matter. I don't really like always restricting myself inside my house or being inside the office and
Mm.
all that. I really love spending time outdoors. So I play regularly in a cricket club over here in
Mhm.
Bangalore, and make it a point to go to regular net sessions and play matches as much as possible. Living the childhood dream to play with leather ball has actually been the constant force behind it. Okay, you need to struggle hard, do your work, do your studies, and then get married,
Right.
and then eventually when you have some time to pursue these hobbies once again, that's when you can do it. So yeah, I'm regular player at a club out here. I'm also a member of a biking club. So I really love my
Oh,
bike. I have a Royal Enfield Classic. That was also one of my dream stuff that that came true a few years ago. And I go on rides from time to time with my friends or with my club, and sometimes even solo for that matter. Even though I know my wife doesn't like it a lot after we've gotten married, but then those are the things which I really like doing. And of late, I have started developing a really peculiar taste in scuba diving, and I am aspiring to get certified this year and go on more dives myself. And thankfully, my wife is a huge fan of traveling, so I need not say anything else beyond that.
right, right,
We go on
right.
multiple vacations, and the unwinding happens by itself when once you keep on staying engaged all throughout that.
So like it's all the outside stuff and not very much into the inside stuff, and that is like pretty great. So when you have mentioned about traveling, what are the favorite few of the favorite travel destinations you already have, and what are on your wish list?
Uh, well, inside India so far, I think I love Pondicherry the most,
Okay.
to be very honest. It's not like it's a place that you visit once in your life. It's pretty close from Bangalore, and we have been there multiple times. I think we have been there more than 4 or 5 times by now in the last 3 years. And that place really suits me. The food or the overall people out there. Not so much about the climate, because being in Bangalore, it
Yeah,
really sounds a bit bad.
you cannot
Yeah.
expect any other place to have the best
Yeah.
climate.
But I think there is some special connect with that place by now. I can call it my second home
Okay.
after my hometown and Bangalore itself. And outside India, I recently went to Greece, and it's such a beautiful place out there. And I really want to go there, go back there even more, because
Mhm.
it's given a very fresh perspective about everything. It's not like any other European place with all the cliched things that you can expect. Very very positive energy out there, good weather, good food, excellent people, excellent hospitality out there. And you get the feeling that okay, these are the things that dreams are made of, but eventually you're part of the same planet. These are your own
Right.
people at the end of the day. And I really liked it. It's got to be my favorite so far.
Okay. What are your personal goals for the next 5 years?
Well, I think we have answered two of them. I need to start reading again.
Right,
and
right,
uh,
right, right.
and I want to get into a bit of music once again.
Yeah.
And I think those are things that are close to me, but for some reason we have been having a long distance relationship so far. So I really want to patch up.
You also have, I guess, you have mentioned the third one also, like striking a better balance between your work and your personal life, like getting
I
like
mean,
more relaxed.
I think that has to be an endless pursuit. I mean, you can never, put a pin on the fact that okay, my balance is perfect right now. It
Right,
has
right,
to be. It has to be. The effort has to be made every single day of your life, because once you become complacent with it, either your personal life will go for a toss or your work life will. So
right,
the that effort has to be there. I think not just for the coming 5 years. I think it has to happen ever. Till your retirement maybe.
right.
That effort should never stop.
Okay. Um, last question for the personal questions round, that if you are to describe yourself in a line, how would that be?
Um, I wish I could, but
You should actually, like,
uh,
do your best, actually. At
I
least try.
I think if someone were to understand me in one line, I would completely base it on my own personal self, and that is I'm an out and out dreamer, believer, and executor of what I think I do, and I just don't
And
stop.
And that's a very impressive line, let me tell you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it makes a complete sense, and that like it impresses to whoever like who hears what you have to say. So an amazing one actually. You tried, but you gave your best shot, and it's actually the best one.
Thank
Um,
you.
so that is it for the personal questions round as well right now. We are towards
Oh,
our
that's great.
last round, which is the rapid fire round, and after that we are like done. But again, as mentioned before we were starting the entire conversation that if you perform really well, we have a small surprise scheduled for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you are ready, let's get started. You have to be like very quick. You have to like answer in a word or a line, however the question is, and then we can, whenever you
Yeah.
are ready, we can get started. Are
Yeah,
you
that's right. Let's go for the hamper.
okay? Um, so uh, data science or project management,
Project management.
coffee or tea,
T.
early bird or a night owl.
Early bird.
I was thinking of asking you a favorite book, but let's not do that.
Yeah.
Um, let's do your favorite movie right now. Like,
My favorite movie right now, The Godfather.
okay, uh, mountains or beaches.
Beaches.
Favorite cuisine.
Bengali.
Okay. Uh, most memorable travel destination.
It's Greece.
Okay.
Out and out.
Your most used app on your phone.
WhatsApp.
One app that you cannot like think about not using.
um, I don't think I don't want to say it. I will embarrass myself by saying that, but no, I really don't want to say it. I think the app that I would otherwise use a lot is probably it's
Come
probably.
on, like it's a rapid fire. You please.
Should I say Instagram? Would you judge me?
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
I will not because Instagram is the ultimate like time waster of the century, I guess.
Yeah, and
For those who
that's
are not
why.
using it for work, like
Yeah,
it has ruined people's life
yeah, it has
for some
ruined.
reason.
It has taught a few things, but then no, I don't like. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
like those
do.
reels are very addictive.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm embarrassed. I'm not sure if somebody should be proud of that.
Oh,
But then
it's
yeah,
like it. I think like it's a part of embarrassment of like
this entire
80 to 90%
generation.
of the population right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. I
Okay.
hope it doesn't become a reason for the population right now. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Yes, please do that. Let's do that. One thing that you cannot live without.
I can't live without my wife.
Okay, that's really sweet. That is it for the rapid fire round as well, and you performed really well.
Oh,
And as mentioned that if you perform really well, we have a small surprise for you, and that is like this ebook.
wow.
Yeah, our team will getting in touch with you. You will be receiving this ebook along with other small goodies from our on behalf of our organization. This book will also be signed by the author himself, Ryan Amar Virani sir. So that is all we have. You would be very soon receiving a small mail from our side on your address. So that is it for from our side.
Thank you
And
so much. I think you really helped me out in getting into my 5-year plan really quick. And I'll start with this one.
yeah, yeah, you can like, but I would really suggest you to get on with your music composition. It interested. It's really interesting and like
And I want to do some justice to the guitar that's just lying around.
please
It's
do
been
that.
some
Like
time.
it's a gift that very few have and you must use it. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much, sir. It has been a wonderful experience and I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did having you on this show, as our audience will be like delighted watching you on our channel on this show. I again thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule and doing this session with us. I'm really obliged. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine, and I'm really thankful to all of you to have me. And I hope we can all, we can keep having a lot more sessions like these. And I'm also interested to go through the other speakers who have come and learn a lot from their experiences.
Definitely, sir, do check it out because um, we have professionals from every profession, like right from the legal to cyber to data science and everything. We have had conversation with, I guess, almost all the profession from all the industries, and we will continue doing that in our upcoming episodes, and we would be very much happy to have you again on the show and talk about, like, get into more depth about the data science or any other topic that you like, we would come into agreement of discussing, because yeah, it has
Right.
been an absolute pleasure. And for our audience, please stay tuned to this and many other interesting coffee conversation show on our YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We would be looking forward to yet another guest speaker with yet another cup of coffee on Coffee Conversation Show. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.